On 16 September, the Kenyan High Court has issued an arrest warrant against a British national suspected of murdering Agnes Wanjiru. She was only 21 years old and a mother of one when she was killed in 2012. She left a beautiful child behind and the family crying over her day and night. Justice Alexander Muteti said that the prosecutors they had given sufficient evidence in order for this criminal to be extradited to Kenya in order for them to answer to their crime.
This court now grants the warrant of arrest as prayed. The court is satisfied that the bundle presented before it has reasonable details concerning the incident, and therefore there is probable cause to order the arrest of the accused.
But the question is that even possible? Even though the Kenyan authorities and Wanjiru's family, they hope to see the British government doing everything in its power for these suspects to be extradited to Kenya.
What happened to Agnes Wanjiru should never happen to anyone. And I'm really looking for a day when that justice can be delivered. This was brutal murder.
So that they'll face justice in Kenya soil as soon as possible, because this case, it has been there for so many years, which we never see justice taking place for this young lady. Robert James Beckes is the name of the monster who killed Agnes Wanjiru. This man served in the British Army from 2006 to 2016. In 2012, he raped and brutally killed Agnes Wanjiru in Nanyuki. This wicked man stabbed her to death and threw her body in a septic tank. Now as we are talking, this man is now 38 years old, a father of two. He lives in the UK near Salisbury, where he works as a home computer support technician. This man is now well identified and he needs to be brought to the justice. The Minister of Interior have done its part, as we also last week the Kenyan High Court finally issued an arrest warrant against this man. Now it's about time for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to play its role by demanding the government of British to extradite this man straight away to Kenya. Kenya should be tough and hard in this justice fight. We should stop treating the UK like our colonial masters. We must all make sure that this murderer should be judged in Nairobi and imprisoned in Kenya and not in the UK. Guys, for decades, British soldiers in Kenya, they've been raping, murdering women in Kenya, especially in the town of Nanyuki. This is the area where the British Army, they are doing their military trainings. This place is also known as Batuk. These Britain soldiers, they are committing all sorts of crime over there, and no one of them had faced the justice so far. This looks like a new form of colonial in Kenya, whereby the crime will be committed and no one has the right to question the person who had committed all these crimes. Guys, the British soldiers in Kenya, they have become the cause of serious problem in Kenya instead of them solving the problem which is in Kenya. And Kenyan need to do something right now in order for them to have their totally independence instead of them continuing to entertain their former colonial, which is British. Guys, you might not believe this, but the 2012 case of Agnes Wanjiru, it had become a national symbol of the impunity of a British military in Kenya. Let me tell you why. Because of the way how Agnes Wanjiru was killed in 2012. This 21-year-old disappeared after meeting a British soldier, which is located in Nanyuki. 2 months later, this young lady was found dead, stabbed with knife multiple times. And guess what? A body was discovered in a septic tank. That is how cruel these people they are to Africans. They will come in Africa interfere in Africa economy, interfering in Africa politics, and bring instability among Africans, so that they'll come at the end of the day and say that we are here to help you, we are here to bring peace, we are here to unite you people. So all you have to do from your side is to make sure that you open your borders, allow our military comes in, build camps, so that we'll bring the security that you guys have been fighting in order for you to have it. Once you open your borders and you allow them to come in, they are coming in to rape our women, our mothers, our sisters, pregnanting them, even though they don't want to have a child with a black skin color. And once our women decide to speak out, these women are being killed by these people. And there are many cases like this. This is the one that the media is talking about. What about those ones that the media they are not aware of? Do you know how many people, whether it is in Kenya or in Africa continent, who are victims of these westerns? Guys, the sex violence of a British soldiers in Kenya, it had become something else. This is now out of control. Because from different reports, they are saying that since 1965, there is more than 1,000 cases of rape and sexual harassment by British militaries in Kenya, which has been recorded. Moreover, none of these cases, none of these perpetrators, none of these people have answered for their crime. They leave their countries, they come in Africa to commit any kind of crime, yet no one is paying for it. Just imagine that. Another rape case was the one of Mantoi Lokoi Kaunda, who was raped, a 16-year-old pregnant girl who was raped and murdered in 1996 to 1997, if I'm not mistaken. They raped her, they killed her, and threw her body. Guess where was that? Somewhere in a bush close to the training camp where the British militaries they were training. And when they asked them about all this, they denied like always. Later on, we saw in 2004, a body was exhumed for an autopsy in order for them to check and find out what really happened to this 16-year-old girl. After all this process was done, the result of the autopsy which came out from this were not shared with the family, and no one knows what happened. No one knows what was the result of this autopsy until now. And the worst part is that these people didn't know how to silence anyone who's trying to come after them. Guess what happened to Mantoi's sister? The one who tried at least to do a follow-up to understand what was going on. She was also a victim because she was kidnapped by these same soldiers, beat her up, raped her to the point of killing her. Like enough, she survived even though a arm was broken. Now imagine, it has been 20 years since all these reports was published, yet no one have answered for their crime and for all the wrongdoing they have done to this family. It is more clear that British soldiers, they don't feel any guilty when it comes to all this crime that they've been committing in Kenya. They don't feel any kind of pity to all these families that they've been causing serious pain before killing them and dump them in the bush. Guys, British soldiers don't feel any guilty. They are using their impunity for years to exploit Kenyan women and escape the crime. However, they laugh at the victims. Raped a Kenyan woman, it had become a meme for them. In 2021, the Times released an investigation with a screenshot of British soldiers joking about raping and murdering Agnes Wanjiru. Just imagine that. These are people who are supposed to be in jail, begging for forgiveness to the family of these victims. Yet they are making fun and joking for killing this innocent, beautiful young lady. The caption of this screenshot says that if you know, you know. Looking at this picture and the caption, you can only tell that this is a provocative from these people to the victims. One posted a picture of a ghost emoji, to which another adds the word septic tank. And then several soldiers respond back to the post, at least one of them is still serving with the region. Now, in response, Soldier X posts an emoji of an angel, often used to unset innocents. This prompts other soldiers to post crying with laughed emojis, followed by an image of a Stewie from a Family Guy crying at a funeral. Agnes was a single mother and left behind her a 5-month-old baby girl. Now, Soldier X is being asked by Soldier D if he gets all choked up thinking about that place. He then replies saying that, "Come to think of it, I have a sore throat today." Then Soldier D reacts to that saying, "Wow, wow, wow." That was not all, because this summer again, a new WhatsApp link reveals British soldiers again showing on how they don't feel guilty at all about their crime which they've been committing on Kenyan women. Now I show you an exclusive WhatsApp link. This summer, a former Batuk soldier who did not share the same point of view with his colleagues on British crime in Kenya sent me a screenshot of his group chat correspondence. This whistleblower wanted his colleagues to remain anonymous. But here you can see how the former Batuk soldiers are joking about another British soldiers who's being accused of rape in Kenya in 2025. Unlike you, mate, this message showed that rape is absolutely normal, frequent practice for British soldiers in Kenya. And for the fact that one of them was arrested for rape accusations, they don't see him as a guilty criminal, but they see him as unlucky man, one of many rapists who gets away. Septic tanks heritage. They are laughing at the Agnes Wanjiru murder case because of how her body was found in a septic tank. We all know that this has been a strategy for Kenyan people, but for the British soldiers, this has been just a meme used to level their crime. These people, they don't see Kenyan as their equal. They believe that we are a second class of people who can be raped, killed, and laughed at with impunity. Now guys, tell me, these are people who are supposed to be apologizing to the family of this victim for causing them serious pain, for taking the life of their loved ones. They did not do that, not apologizing, not facing the justice. They are sent back to their country and they are living their normal daily life with their families without any charges against them. Yet they are laughing to the victim and the victim's family. Just imagine that. What kind of people is this? What kind of society are we living in? But you might ask yourself a question to know, why these soldiers or all these perpetrators, they are not being prosecuted in Kenya? That it is the question which you deserve to understand the explanation. Let me tell you. In 2021, there was an agreement, a military agreement which was signed between the two countries. The Defense Cooperation Agreement, DCA. This agreement took place between Kenya and the government of UK. What was said in this agreement was that there's certain priority or authority which was given straight to the UK, which says that in case if the British soldiers misbehave in Kenya soil, they should not respond to the Kenyan authorities or courts, but they should be prosecuted in Britain. Just imagine that. With our politicians who open their borders, their door, to bring an outsider, all just because these people used to be their former colonial, even though we all know what these people they have done to Africans. You let them in, they come in, and one of their deal which they have to impose on your leadership or on your government is that we are coming here to do the military training, we will be staying here, this is where our camp will be located. But one thing for sure is that whenever one of us do something wrong, it should not be arrested or prosecuted inside the court in your country. This person will respond back to UK. It is the UK government that will have to deal with this person. See the kind of contract or deal which our leaders get to sign in most of the case. Now today, these criminals, yes, allow me to call them so, they are living their life normally, because after they had committed all this crime, the government of Ukraine took them back to their country and replaced them with someone else. I'm not surprised, because that has been the reason why they are busy laughing all these victims who had died in their hands. Now the question is Kenya really independent, sovereign country? That it is the capital question which we both need to discuss, because as long the British laws apply to British soldiers who are in Kenya soil, whereby these soldiers will remain untouchable in Kenya, as long the victims of these families cannot achieve justice for their loved ones, guys, I'm telling you, Kenya will remain slaves in the hands of their former colonial, which is British. Kenyan independence will remain incomplete. Why? Because they accept the unacceptable. They accept something that they could have said no from the beginning. We must demand justice, not only for Agnes Wanjiru, but for all the Kenyan victims who have fallen in the hands of these perpetrators, and ask for all these criminals to come and appear inside Kenya magistrates, not in UK courts, but we want them to appear inside Kenya courts, so that the justice and the reparation of these victims to take place. It is only that way we can truly say that Kenya, they are now having their true independence, and they are now a sovereign country, because they are able to punish whoever comes and commit crime in their soil. Imagine all this nonsense these perpetrators have done in Kenya. Can them be able, or should I put it this way, in a very simple way? Can a Kenyan citizen go to UK and do the same thing? Do you see a Kenyan government going to UK and have a military training over there and commit this kind of crime? Because this is what these people have been doing in Africa continent. Today we're talking about Kenya. What about those ones who are in the Democratic Republic of Congo under MONUSCO? What about those one Captain Ibrahim Traore had chased in Burkina Faso alongside with Mali and Niger? This is what these people they have been doing. They're coming in Africa, pretending to come and help African countries to fight against terrorism, helping the government to bring a security and a stability in the country. But they are not doing all these things. They comes in and start using our women, our mother, our sister, our grandmothers as their weapon of war. And when they're doing all this, knowing very well that they are breaking the law, yet they don't want to face the justice. They have to be protected by a so-called contract which they had signed with this government. This have to stop right now. We need to denounce this kind of things. We need to make sure that this kind of message, we share it with everyone around the world, so that people, whether it is in Africa continent, whether it is in America or Europe or in Asia, they should know what this former colonial they are doing in Africa continent by destroying women, by exploiting women of Africa, just as they used to do it the time of colonial. The stories are so many, and there are many victims out there who can come forward to testify. So these kind of things have to stop right now. These people, they need to be punished. They need to pay for their crime which they have committed in Africa continent. It is in that way we'll be able to say that now we are free from our former colonial. Now we have our own sovereignty and we can do as we please as Africans. I believe that is all that I want to share with you concerning the murder case of Agnes Wanjiru, which affected many people over there in Kenya. We are one, we are all together as Africans. I believe that is all, guys. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. We really do appreciate your time. We are looking forward to see you again in our next video. But for now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.